welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a familiar face with us, and he can say his name, what he does, and his band name now.
What's going on? Alex Bolton. Artist name is Conspicuous.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me, man.
Dude, of course, as always. Alex is a familiar face because one of his older bands was on here, so he had messaged me about it, and I've been seeing some of your stuff. I know it's kind of like a different change in terms of like music styling, so tell me about like how it all got started, you know, why you wanted to start doing like kind of like rap, hip hop influence stuff, like what kind of started you out to want to do that?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you know, since I was real young, I've loved certain influences of rap. Of course, like every white boy's gonna tell you, I love Eminem. You know, Linkin Park around that same age too. And for me, like Linkin Park was a huge thing because they were the first band that really came through and like broke that barrier for me of like crossing genres. But of course, you know, I was always a little skeptical, like, oh, that's just them. You know, nobody else can pull that off. And then, you know, as the years went by, I started seeing more acts do it. And I want to say it was about 2 years ago was the first time I considered it a little more seriously. I had written a couple rap songs a couple years ago and just kind of shelved them. You know, it's something I did for fun. And I want to say last year when my now wife and I were at Disney, I don't know what it was about Disney. We were on vacation, and I had like 8 rap songs just come to me. Like, I'm just writing lyrics the whole time. She's like, why are you on your phone? We're on vacation. I'm like, babe, you never know when that bug's going to hit. You just got it right. But, yeah, I don't know. I think like earlier this year, I'd been listening to a lot more From Ashes to New. I love those guys.
Oh,
They're
sick,
awesome. Yeah. You know, with everything that happened with Chester last year, it kind of like got me back into listening to them all the time, and I started listening to an artist called NF. He's an amazing rapper, and it just kind of like relit the fire, I guess, and the lyrics just started coming to me. I've always been a big lyricist, and, you know, it started off when I was like 8 writing poems and stuff, and it just comes natural for me. I think even more natural than like writing instrumentals. And so this year, you know, with everything that had happened with Dead Eyes last year, I just felt like it was a good time to try to really put more effort into doing something solo, something where I love my guys in Dead Eyes. You know, Eric and Chris are amazing, but I just wanted something where like I didn't have to rely on other people, even if they are great. Like somewhere, you know, I don't got to get everybody together to be able to practice. I can go into the basement. I don't got to get everybody together to write. I can do it right here on my laptop.
I totally get that, and I respect that tremendously because that's pretty much, you know, the whole reason why I do this channel is like it's you're driven by yourself, and like, you know, as much as you like other people helping out and stuff like that, it's like it's so cool when you have your like own thing that you call your own, like, you know what I mean? So I totally respect that. Do you feel like you're going to be incorporating, like, obviously you do write instrumental work, so do you feel like you'll be incorporating that into your like rapping style, or are you just going to keep those two like separate?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a good mix of both. So with the one track that I've released so far, that was actually a beat that I produced myself.
Sick.
I took it into Think Loud with Carson and Grant, the dudes that did a lot of the Dead Eye stuff as well. They did, you know, Hallucinating a Monster. So I took that in there, and I just kind of redialed some of the tones with Carson. You know, he put his studio wizard stuff on there and made it sound a lot better than I can through GarageBand. But I've actually, after that, like I've got 2 other songs I did in that session with them that aren't released yet that I'm holding on to, and those are all beats that I made myself. But since then, I've been looking into like trying to hone in my lyrical ability more since I decided I was going to, you know, put more of my time into this. So I've been finding beats online. There's one producer, Syndrome. He's awesome. I've got like 12 of his beats I've written lyrics to already. So I'm definitely looking to put together a mixtape next year. But yeah, I'm trying to do a big mix of both because, you know, with certain songs, it's like I like being able to put the instrumental together myself because, you know, I've got the whole vocal structure in my head beforehand, so I can really make them tie together well. But sometimes it's nice to just like have a beat that I didn't write to give me a fresh perspective.
Yeah, a track to you can just kind of like let loose on. That's always really cool. I always like hearing kind of like the contrast of like when you hear somebody do like a beat that isn't their own, but they'll like put their own spin on it. But also at the same time, I love when they have something that they've literally written from the ground up and like have done like everything from like lyrics to like the instrumental work. I think that's always really cool, and I find it refreshing in that sense because for me, I don't listen to like a ton of rap. If I get into it, it's like, not like, of course I like the greats like Eminem, like Biggie, all that stuff, but like I'm not like, and I'm not into that too much, but I will definitely try to get into your stuff. I saw that you did like one live show, so how was that in comparison to like, obviously you're in Deadeye, so how is that comparison? Because I know they're like two different like, genres.
It was definitely an experience. I want to say that like anybody that's seen Deadeye's live knows that I like to be all over the stage as it is, and I like to keep that energy going. So it was an easy translation in that sense. But picking up the microphone instead of the guitar was a little bit of a. It definitely took a couple weeks of practicing to get used to, and just knowing that I was carrying everything. I didn't have anybody else behind me to rely on, but I think it went pretty well. For what it was. I picked up the show. Honestly, I wasn't even like planning on starting to perform or even release the project name or anything until early next year. But it was a venue that was closing down in our local scene that had meant the world to me. I've been going to this place for 10 years, played some of my biggest shows there, sold out show with August Burns Red and a couple other great bands. It's like seeing that place go down, I was like, I got to be on this show. And right now, Dead Eyes isn't in a position to be playing. So I was like, let's just do it. Let's make it happen.
Awesome, Alex. So my next question, I asked you this question on our last interview, but obviously we're doing it from a different perspective. But if you could pick somebody to collaborate with, who would you want to work with? Like either a guest vocalist, or obviously you've worked with, Grant and all the people from August Burns Red. But like if you had another producer to work with that maybe is in like the same sort of vein of what you're doing.
Oh man, that's tough. There's so many. Like, producer-wise, I would love to work with Tyler Smith of Danger Kids for this project.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be great because, like, just like them, like, I'm trying to do hip-hop fused with rock, but I want to have some songs with more of a rock element and some songs with more of a hip-hop element, and I'm going to have some songs with more of a pop element that don't even have rapping in it. So, like, I feel like working with him would be a great middle ground for that project. Hopefully that'll happen someday. Joey Sturgis has always been a dream producer of mine. Man, like, I can't tell you how many albums of his, like, I grew up on all the Prada records. Prada was my favorite band for years. And, yeah, he would be awesome to work with from a producer standpoint. When you talk about, like features and stuff, that's tough from, like, this standpoint, like, because I haven't really thought much about it with rap. And I'm trying to find more rappers that, like, I really like their style, and I feel like, one thing I've noticed about rap is like the lyrical content is definitely a lot different than what I'm used to. And, it's like with any genre, there's going to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So you got, a lot of these rappers up on the radio glorifying drug use and all that stuff. And like, that's not what I'm about. I like to talk about more societal issues. I'm not saying that there's not rappers that do that, because there's many, like, there's Pac, like, but I think I'm just trying to take my own approach at it, and I don't know anybody else that's doing what I'm doing that's trying to be there. I think Matt from Ashes, I would love to do a collab with at some point. We talked about it with Dead Eyes, but I think taking it a step further and doing it with this would be really cool too.
Yeah, that would be tight, and I think it's like you got to find somebody that like aligns with what you're doing. So I appreciate kind of the hesitancy in terms of like who you want to work with, because like that's always a tough issue, and I feel like for me it always proves out to be the best result, because like you get somebody that really kind of aligns with what you do and likes what you do as well, and so hopefully it's a good match. But another fun question, we're gonna be talking about cover songs, so if you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Okay, so I've actually considered it. I love the song in the middle, the Zed song.
Oh, okay.
Love it. I don't think it's the style for this project, but it's something I've thought about doing, just a little, like maybe trying to find an instrumental at the beat, singing over the chorus, and then just kind of like rapping my own verses to it, writing out my own lyrics and everything. I've considered that because I'm so in love with that song. And the Dead Eyes boys don't want to cover it. So, but other than that, man, I mean, I can't say it enough. Like, I love Eminem. I can at least 20% of his songs word for word. So I've been thinking about trying to do some covers of some of the stuff off the new album. Just show people that, like, I think there's a lot of people coming into this, like with me coming into this from the metal scene, that like were very hesitant about my abilities and like, oh, you can't rap. Like, you're going to be one of those mumble rappers or something. And like, I'd like to believe I'm a lot better than that. Like, I got some bars. I've been practicing. I put my time in. So I think an Eminem song would be great to show people that, because I think he does, like, in Lucky You, he does like a 12.4 syllables per second or some shit like that. It's crazy. I look up on YouTube, I find all those numbers and everything. But yeah, I mean, that part's like crazy fast, and I've been working on that and getting it down. So I might pull something out with that here in a little bit.
You just want people. Listen. If you come through and you're showing people up, then I'll definitely give that thing a share for sure. That's like, for me, it's like you got to respect people putting in the time to do it, and I think it's tough because like you're in that genre of space where metalcore is like, obviously that's like very popular out here, and obviously I've known you through being in a metalcore band, but I think it's always cool to hear somebody go from a different approach or a different style of music, and I think it's best to come into it with an open mind and like understand that like you like rap just as much, hip hop you like just as much as metalcore stuff, and so I think it obviously showed. And I was I'll be honest, I was a little bit skeptical too, but I did watch that live video that you did, or somebody had recorded you doing that, and I was like, nah, damn, that guy's got bars, like, no lie. So I had to pay my respects to you. So whether or not I told you via comment, whatever, I had to pay some respect. So good luck, Alex. I mean, like, I feel like it's a good way for you to go for sure, while you got Dead Eyes is a little bit on a hiatus for a bit.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, show was a good time. I think it turned out right. And it's like you were saying before, like, how you're not that into rap, and like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's hard for me to find rappers that I'm like, I really enjoy everything that they're doing. Like, I'll find people where it's like they got the lyrical content and they got bars, but I just don't like the style of it or the beat under them even. And so there's really only 4 or 5 rappers like that really appeal to me. And I think it's kind of more of like a fate thing for me, where it's just like I wrote my first rap song when I was like 12, and it probably sucked, but it came naturally to me, and rap always has. I don't know why. I guess it's just working off that sense of like poetry and writing stories that I took on when I was young.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of create more of a like lyrical landscape with rap, and that's what I've always appreciated about like people who are really kind of almost like modern day poets in terms of like rap stuff. Like there's some like really great artists out there, and there's too many to name that do it really well. And so I think it's always really cool to see how like, and I think a lot of people can kind of take that sort of aspect of rap and kind of add it into different genres of music, where they're really kind of thinking more like internally or more in depth about like writing styles. So I may not listen to a ton of rap, but I respect it a ton. So that's always cool. But my next question, Alex, is another fun one. If you could compile a dream tour where you would be like rapping, who would you add on your tour?
But definitely, I mean, I think I went over most of these artists already, but NF and From Ashes for sure. I feel like, I mean, I know that Matt from Ashes loves NF as well, so it's like that'd be a really fun bill. I actually been wanting to see NF in concert since I got into him a couple months ago, and I went and looked up the dates of when he'd be around next, and of course, with my luck, he's coming on my wedding night, so I just missed him the other night, but it was worth it, I love my old lady.
You could have tweeted. You could have tweeted out and been like, "Yo, could you get me in, me and my wife in?"
Yeah, right. I think by the time we finished up with the wedding and drove down to DC, it would have probably been about the end of his set. I had some friends that went. They said it was a great concert, great experience. So happy for that. Definitely got to catch him next time he's around because I've watched a couple live videos and it seems like a good time. I love his aesthetic and just everything about it.
We'll tweet at him. We got it. We'll do it
There you go.
next time. But anyway, Alex, tell them more about the project, where they can find you at, and like, you know, anything coming up. You said you had new tracks that you're going to be putting out, so maybe you can kind of spill a little of the beans on like what's going on with that.
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of a background. So I'm currently working with our drummer, Chris. He's been taking all this year while we're off, really honing in on his video production abilities. So I'm going to be working with him to get a couple videos done. I want to get a lot of stuff prepared before we really start dropping too much. But right now, the best place to find me is SoundCloud. Check out Conspicuous, King Conspicuous. I'm up on Instagram as well. So, like I was saying, you know, I wasn't really planning on launching much until next year. The people that have heard the first single that's out, Stay the Hell Away, they know why it's out. It's in regards to a certain person and some certain events that were going on. That's why it got dropped a little early. But once the music video is finished, we're going to be hitting all the outlets. Going to have the Facebook and iTunes and Spotify and all that then. So the handles should be Conspicuous wherever I can. King Conspicuous where that's taken.
I feel that. I feel that so much. But anyway, I got to show love to Alex because, you know, I feel like, you know, with Dead Eyes, and I've seen you a few times, like, in person, I always got to show love to the homie. So shout outs to Alex. Go check out his stuff. All of his musical stuff will be in the link below. Just check it out, please. I know a lot of people that are subscribed to this channel is more along the lines of, like, you know, metalcore, that post-hardcore progressive stuff, but I'd ask you to go into it with an open mind. Like, Alex is literally I think the second rapper that I've ever had on this channel, so please
I appreciate that.
Go check him out. Really good stuff. I love the single, so I'm excited for new stuff. Even if I am not the biggest rap fan, I gotta show some love. So please go check out his stuff. If he has a YouTube channel, go subscribe to that too. I'm sure that will be coming in the, you know, coming months, something like that. So definitely go subscribe to that. And if you enjoyed this interview, of course, subscribe, share it, go tell your friends about Conspicuous, and thanks of course to Alex for coming on.
Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.